Yo, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? We got a mirror matchup right now. My Zoro versus my opponent's Zoro. Wow, I cannot roll dice. Oh my god. I just saw that. I rolled that off the desk. But yeah, getting my deck out, shuffling it up, and just chatting with the guy a little bit. And this was a great match. It's kind of interesting though, because a lot of people at this tournament were, I would say, relatively new. You know, it's a new TCG, and we're all figuring out, you know, some of the intricacies and different moments of the game. And we make some mistakes. My opponent and we make some mistakes. There are potentially, I think, 3 illegal moves or something like that happened after I was just going back over and rewatching the video. But you'll see what I mean. It's a great match though. You know, Zoro versus Zoro is, usually speaking, a very quick match, but there was a lot of math that went into this, trying to figure out where was the best place to assign Dawn, how to get some of the characters that you wanted on the field. And honestly, it turned out to be a lot more interesting than I thought it would. I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement in this matchup from my play. And so you'll have me putting my life right here. And my opponent will have his life up top. Unfortunately, out of the camera view. The next tournament, I 100% will be doing a better job about trying to make sure that the camera has all the information we want, you know? It's got everything. It'll be looking good, but not too bad for this time around. You know, just working through it. So my opponent goes first, plays that Nami, does a little search. I put down the chopper on my turn, and I also lay another one down to put the starter deck Nami, which is great to have early. It's great to have early. I believe in the deck that I'm running during this match, I had 3 of them, potentially 4 of them in my deck, which I think was a bit much. So he lays down the chopper as well, but I think that having 4 of them was way too much. I think now I've gone back to maybe having 2 per se. I've got, I think, 2 in there. It's a great card, but it doesn't do nearly as much as you want it to. So I've realized after playing the card a bit that, you know, it's good, but could use a little bit of love. So we play the Nico Robin here. We throw 1 underneath Zoro, 2 actually. Going for 7. He takes a life. And I think we pass turn. Perfect. So opponent is up to 5 Dawn now. And having that chopper on the field is great, just because, you know, can take a lot of jet pistoling the Nico Robin here. Good call, by the way. Nico Robin's a very scary card to have on the field. But yeah, good call on the jet pistol, and having that chopper down early is such a relief as a Zoro player. Not seeing a chopper hurts throughout a match, but you know, both of us have ours. And now I'm up to 6 Dawn, 3 life left. I think opponent has 4. And we're going to be, I think, playing some of our, you know, some of our good rushing cards here to try and get a little bit of life taken off of the opponent. You know, don't want them drawing all the cards in the world, but at the same time, this deck has a time limit. And so we'll put down the 2-cost Sanji. The Nami will activate, put one of those Rested Dawn under Zoro. Now, this is where, in my opinion, I should have thrown maybe 2 under the Zoro, this 2 under the Sanji and started swinging. Or 2 under, or actually just swing with Zoro for 6. Okay, so I do actually. Wow, look at me, making a decent move. Because I kid you not, in all 5 of these matches over this tournament on January 14th, boy was I making some mistakes. And see, I'm putting down the Luffy card when I don't really need to have done that yet. I should have been swinging first just to see, you know, what are the options. I mean, he didn't have any Rested Dawn. So, or excuse me, not Rested Dawn, any Active Dawn remaining. But we swung with the Sanji. I think he took that hit, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe he took that hit. And so my opponent should be at 3 life now. And he's going to rest 2, play a Rush Sanji of his own. Get that going. He's still got 2 Dawn left. Well, 1 now because he placed 1 under Zoro. But he's going to attack my Sanji here for 6. And now I'm just deciding whether I want to use the blocker or make a counter. It's not really worth the counter. I'd either let the card die. You know, probably let the card die, honestly. Yeah. Oh, I used the chopper blocker. Well, now he's going to use the Sanji for 7. Or does he add the 8? Or is he thinking? Oh, he goes at my leader and not at Sanji. Interesting. Interesting. So I take that 3rd life here and add a couple Dawn. So I think we're up to 8 Dawn now, if I'm not mistaken. And trying to plan this out. It's a shame we didn't get to keep that Nico Robin on the field. That card would have been so good. But of course, Jet Pistol is going to take care of that. And I think this is where I'm going to try and make some moves. You know, the Monkey D. Luffy card is great to have on the field after last turn, just because it really does give me that 2 Rested Dawn. Oh, we'll use the Uta and bring back the Nico Robin, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, that 2 Rested Dawn is going to come in clutch. Yep, I'll put that under the Luffy right now. And see, this is where I should have been making some swings, in my opinion. Throw 1 Dawn, you know, with the Nami's ability up under Zoro. Start making some swings. Let's see if we can pick off some more life or potentially, you know, take care of that blocker. Could get rid of the Sanji as well, which wouldn't be a terrible idea, honestly, all things considered. I just throw 1 Dawn underneath Sanji himself and could get that, but we'll attack with 6 to Zoro. He'll use the blocker. Or I think I went to Sanji and he uses the blocker there. I play 1 Dawn, and I, if I'm not mistaken, I think I put down a chopper right here. So I should have a chopper blocker. That's the unfortunate thing about this camera angle, is that I just wasn't catching everything. But I was not aware. You know, when I was thinking of placing the camera, I said, oh, perfect. We've got everything covered. Nay, sadly. But definitely will be doing a better job about that in the future. So I'll take out the 1-cost Nami from the starter deck. Attack with the Sanji for 5. Oh, I guess I'm going for his Sanji now. It looks like that's what I pointed at, but I could be wrong. And he 1k counters that. Oh. Did I miss something there? Oh, that's right. No, he needed 2k. That's right, because I attacked with 5 and his Sanji's a 4. So he tried to play the Nico, which was a 1k counter. And see, that's where that's where we made some interesting mistakes. Was so I attack for 6 here, and he plays the Nico Robin again, which is a 1k counter. And that's not going to cut it. He should have played 1 more. But I genuinely think that he and I were under the understanding that that was just fine at the moment. We were both learning the game, figuring things out, and that's where I said earlier, you're probably going to see some illegal moves or some mistakes that definitely, you know, definitely shouldn't have happened, but we'll definitely catch him in the next tournament, because I think not only myself, but the people I'll be playing against will have a much better understanding of how the game and the game flow are supposed to go. So he plays another Sanji, taps one underneath Zoro, and still has 2 Dawn left. He's going to swing with 5 on the Nami to my Monkey D. Luffy, which is a 3k, so I would have to 3k counter that. I don't think it's worth it, personally. I already have way too much on the field that I can just live with and be happy about, but I don't know. We'll see what my moves are. I decided to just take it, not trash it. And now he's going to swing 6 at... Did he point? I'm not entirely sure. Some of the times we were just saying it verbally at Sanji, you know, or something like that. But it looks like I countered whatever he was attacking. And now he's swinging with Sanji. I'll take the life. So he was going at lead. And now, coming back to our turn, we should have all 10 Dawn. Looking good. I've got 1 life left. If I'm not mistaken at this point, our opponent's at 2. But yet again, kind of hard to keep up when I can't see his life in the shot. But I will have a counter up. Hopefully I'll have it up at the beginning of this video to try and, you know, make sure that it's a little more apparent and you can see it. But throw down the Sanji. And so I think this is actually where I personally made a mistake. But if you watch, it kind of gets rectified. So I throw a couple of Dawn underneath each of my characters here because I'm trying to do some math in my head. And so we'll throw a Dawn underneath the Sanji that we just put down, but that requires 2 Dawn to be rush. And so I'll swing at lead for 6 here, and he takes the life hit, so I believe 1 life remaining. And now I'm just doing some thinking. Now I swing with the Sanji that I should have put 2 underneath, and he blocks. So I swung for 6 with that. He blocks with a 2k Brook, but I do rectify the situation a little bit more. I put 2 underneath this Sanji so that it, you know, comes back and I go, oh, you know what? It works. Everything's okay. I swing for 7 and he counters with Brook again, which shouldn't block that attack. That should not counter it. But yet again, something I didn't pick up. My opponent was really kind. I don't think he was trying to be malicious by any means. Just a unfortunate overlook on pretty much both of our parts. But swing for 8 at lead right now with my leader. And I believe he still has 2. If you look in the top left, he's got a couple of Dawn that he ends up using this counter for. And so he'll block my 8 swing with that. And then I believe this is when I'll swing for 6 with Zoro. And he might take his last life here. Or no, I will swing with 7. And I believe he might take his last life, but I don't know if he's got the counters. However, interestingly enough, a lot of moments. Yet again, another Otama 2K obviously doesn't cut it for blocking here, or excuse me, for countering here, but overlooked, overlooked. Not really thinking about the math in my head. So, or really even being knowledgeable of the game at this point. So, mistakes, but that's okay. And we're still doing well. So, can't really complain. And our opponent's going to put 1 under the Zoro, throw 2 under the Sanji, going to be swinging for 7 and 6. Still has plenty of Dawn to play around with. Okay, 7 on the Zoro. I think he swings at my life here, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see. Yes, I take that final life, and And I think I'm just thinking about how I'm going to counter the second hit. Now, this is kind of a tough spot for me to be in. As you can see, I got 5 cards in hand. He's got a lot of Dawn. I'm surprised that he didn't go for more than 7 with the second attack, but I guess he could put a lot underneath Anami or potentially put down one of the Rush Luffys or another 3-cost Rush Zoro. But it looks as though he's put down his deck, so he's really trying to figure out the math in mind right now. And I'm not entirely sure if I remember what happens actually at this point. But I always just do a brisk watch over the videos before I start chatting about it, just because there's moments that you'll miss if you don't watch it a first time over. But I think he says, yeah, I'm just going to swing with this. And if you got the counter, you got the counter. So that's 6 Dawn remaining. I believe he throws it under his Sanji because even though he has the Sanji rested, I don't think that he actually... Or nope, he's swinging with the Nami here. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I believe I was able to counter the Zoro attack. And when he swung with the Sanji, that's what it was. And so he said, hey, if you got the counter, you got the counter. And I do. I show him the cards here. And he said, yep, that's it. You got the counter. Good game. So I had it. Oh, he had that 5-cost Luffy as well. But I think he would have been 1k short. Oh, it looks as though he bottom decked 3 pistols with one of his Nami searches. You really, really hate to see that. You know, shuffling... can sometimes be incredible, or it can be the absolute detriment to you and your game. But nonetheless, this was a really fun match. It was my first ever mirror matchup, and even though, you know, mistakes aside and us, you know, making some illegal moves here and there, it was still a good game, and I got the win kind of a little closer than I wanted it to be, but it was fun. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed.